The family of the inspirational bowel cancer campaigner Dame Deborah James announced tonight that she had passed away peacefully today with them at her bedside. She became famous as one of the presenters on a regular podcast which aimed to raise awareness and help people through the disease. She raised millions of pounds for research in the final weeks of her life. Dame Deborah was only 40 years old.
Even in hospital, she danced and documented her life. Deborah James devoted her final years to campaigning for fellow cancer patients. She was awarded a damehood for her courage and her candour. Prince William came to her home to give her the award in person. She described it as surreal. Later he spoke about how amazing it was to meet her.
Very honoured to be able to speak to her.
I've kind of taken you along the whole journey and I'm still going to continue to.
The mother of two was diagnosed with incurable bowel cancer in 2016 at the age of 35.
I have the poo cancer.
The glam cancer.
I have the glam cancer. There's nothing pink about my cancer, it's just brown.
Mm-hmm.
She then started hosting a podcast called You, Me and the Big C, which continued even when fellow presenter Rachel Bland died 4 years ago.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
And she used humour to deal with a subject many find uncomfortable.
And I'm too sexy for me.
Millions of pounds was donated to her fundraising page to benefit other cancer patients.
Deborah was an absolute inspiration to everybody at the Royal Marsden and the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. Her positivity, her enthusiasm, the way she danced through chemo, but also the quiet moments when she looked after other people and reached out in the middle of the night through social media. She was phenomenal. We will miss her hugely. We are so grateful. The Bowelbabe Fund has raised a phenomenal sum of money for the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, Bowelcancer UK and Cancer Research UK, and together we will use that to change the lives of bowel cancer patients across the world.
Her final public appearance was 2 weeks ago at Royal Ascot, where her familiar beaming smile belied that she was nearing the end of her life. Her courage inspired and reassured so many, and her fundraising will continue to save lives.
Dame Deborah James, inspirational cancer campaigner and wonderful woman who died today.
The campaigner Dame Deborah James has died of bowel cancer at the age of 40. She had been receiving end-of-life care at home and had raised millions to help others affected by cancer. Dame Deborah was the host of the BBC's You, Me and the Big C podcast and was honored in recognition of her fundraising work. Rachel Burden takes a look at her life.
My name is Deborah James. I'm a mum to 2 kids and a dog called Winston. 3 years ago, at the age of 35, I was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer, and I have been living with cancer ever since.
She was young, she was vibrant, with an infectious sense of fun. For Deborah James, cancer was a devastating blow. But she was determined to share her story, in the hope it would help others.
I've had everything. Surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy to enable me to live with cancer.
On social media, the former teacher called herself Bowelbabe, detailing the endless rounds of treatment, but poking fun at her disease, having fun with her kids, and marking life's important milestones.
I made my 40th birthday. That's huge, that's enormous. It's the birthday that I never thought I would make. I like winding up my oncologist because he's very straight-laced.
On her podcast, You, Me and the Big C, Deborah was open.
Have a conversation and you're sat on the chemo wards in an orange catsuit.
Funny.
And he's like, and you know, he doesn't want to say anything and you're just like, yeah, hi, I'm back on treatment. And every single time I'm back on treatment, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be back on treatment. And
but never tried to hide her emotions.
And just think, it's just not fair.
In a final interview, she hoped new treatments would soon be found.
Cancer should become a chronic disease. I hope it will be in my kids' lifetime. I hope it will become a chronic disease. But I think there are people doing amazing things and we need to support them and fund them.
The fund she set up to aid research has raised millions. For years, Dame Deborah, as she became, fought to increase awareness of her disease, with social media posts like these inspiring thousands of fellow patients. In the words of one cancer charity, the lives her campaign saved and will continue to save was nothing short of incredible.
I'm joined now by our reporter, Mark LaBelle, and there has been such a flow of reactions to the news of her death.
Yeah, Monica, there has been, to the sad news that no one wanted to hear. But perhaps the most touching has come from her mother, Heather, who simply says her heart is broken. She shared images of her daughter on social media saying, "Love you forever." Look, this news just broke, the news of her death, around 3 hours ago, and yet she's on the front pages of most of the UK newspapers that focus on her work as a tireless campaigner, and also the fact that she died surrounded by family at the age of just 40. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that he's deeply saddened and that Dame Deborah was an inspiration to so many. The Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, praising her charity work as truly inspirational, even in the most challenging moments. Well, the BBC's Director General, Tim Davie, called her a true inspiration and said the way she talked about cancer moved the nation, inspired change and undoubtedly saved lives. And the Radio 5 controller, BBC Radio 5 controller, said, as colleagues and friends of hers, we're all heartbroken. She had the most incredible energy, a magnetism that drew you towards her, that came through in that report you just saw. The messages from her listeners show the incredibly special connection she made. Look, charities were particularly grateful for all the work that she did. The chief executive of Bowelcancer UK, Genevieve Edwards, said she was deeply saddened that our patron, Dame Deborah James, has died. She turned her bowel cancer diagnosis into an incredible force for good, and through her tireless campaigning to raise awareness of bowel cancer symptoms will have saved countless lives. So this is a theme we're hearing about her, no doubt partly due to her Bowelbabe campaign, fundraising campaign, which is approaching £7 million. She only set out to raise £250,000. This is for research into personalised medicine for cancer patients. Now, Dame Deborah's second book will be coming out in August, called How to Live When You Could Be Dead. And bowel cancer is so important. Every day in the UK, around 120 new cases are found. But let's leave you with the most poignant words of the day, no doubt. And these come from Dame Deborah herself. This was shared with permission by her family. She says, find a life worth enjoying, take risks, love deeply, have no regrets, and always, always have rebellious hope. And with her characteristic bluntness and humour, she says, and finally, check your poo. It could save your life.
Well, The Sun carries tributes to the podcaster and cancer awareness campaigner Dame Deborah James, whose death at the age of 40 was announced last night.
Deborah was made a dame last month. The award presented in person by Prince William at her parents' home. Dame Deborah wrote her own epitaph, a message posted on social media last night. It said, find a life worth enjoying, take risks, love deeply, have no regrets, and always, always have rebellious hope. And finally, check your poo. It could just save your life.
Such an important message, that, isn't it? Check your poo. Don't be embarrassed to talk about it, and it could indeed save your life. And there has been an incredible reaction on social media to her death. Let's have a look at some of the tributes being paid.
This is from Radio 1 DJ Adele Roberts, who had bowel cancer. We heard from her on the programme yesterday, talking her own situation, didn't we? This is what Adele said. Thank you for everything, Deborah. Thank you for being so strong for so long and for helping others when you were in so much pain yourself. Adele says, you were the best of us, thinking of your family and your friends, and I'm forever grateful to you for helping me and my family. Rebellious hope forever.
TV presenter Gabby Roslin wrote, bye-bye, my beautiful friend Deborah. You will forever shine so brightly. Thank you for all that you did, for the laughter, the dancing, and most importantly, for all that you did in your short lifetime for others. My love to all of the family. It's just so heartbreaking.
And so many tributes from people involved in medicine in the UK. The Chief Executive of NHS England here, Amanda Pritchard, saying, on behalf of the whole NHS, I want to offer my condolences to the loved ones of Deborah James. Her amazing attitude was humbling and a lesson to us all. Her fundraising has helped countless cancer patients, and her determination to raise awareness will have saved many lives. That's the thing, isn't it? That message you were just talking about, we know has already saved lives, made a difference to loads of families.
Yeah, and someone like her sharing the message the way she has, it's different to a pamphlet coming through your door from the NHS, isn't it? Much more impact. Deborah's family say she did share her experience of cancer in order to raise awareness, break down barriers, challenge taboos and change the conversation around cancer.
Let's take a look at some of the tributes now that have been paid. This one from the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who's written, I'm terribly saddened to hear that Dame Deborah James has died. What an inspiration she was to so many. The awareness she brought to bowel cancer and the research her campaigning has funded will be her enduring legacy. Because of her, many, many lives will be saved. We've heard that already, haven't we, from others?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The BBC newsreader George Alagaya, who's living with cancer, wrote, knowing that Bowelbabe, Dame Deborah James, was nearing the end of her journey here doesn't make her passing an easier to accept. She was a beacon lighting the way for all of us living with cancer. Thank you for your example, Deborah. Rest in peace.
Oh, and this one from TV presenter Davina McCall, who paid tribute to Deborah on Instagram, saying, oh, Deborah, thank you for everything you've done, leaving such a huge legacy. Thank you for having such a positive impact on so many of us. Thank you for making us look and re-examine our own lives and for educating us all. Thank you for raising all of that money for others. You were a total firecracker. Well said, Davina.
Lots of people just taking in the news this morning.
Yeah. Just looking at social media now, I mean, Dame Deborah James is trending on all social media platforms. Should we have a look at some of the comments that are out there? This one from Bowel Cancer UK, who say, we are deeply saddened that our patron, Bowelbabe, has died, and our hearts go out to her family and to everyone who knew and loved her. Deborah's star shone bright. She was a true inspiration to so many.
Lorraine Kelly has written, we all knew it was coming, but somehow I thought Deborah would bounce back like she always did. What a legacy she leaves us with, sending so much love to her family and to everyone who knew her.
Almost all those pictures of Deborah that we showed, she's smiling. Even in the last few weeks, she's smiling.
And oh so glamorous, even talking about poo.
Yeah, exactly.
That is an inspiration,
Only Deborah,
isn't it?
Quite. I said we'd have a look at the fundraising page, didn't I, just to update you, because Deborah wanted to raise £250,000 last month. Look at that, it's nudging 7 million, isn't it? £6,831,152. Incredible, incredible.